Welcome to BrandyArnaudFineArt.com. In this video, we are starting a rather large painting of a sweet baby goat, and I will post the finished painting soon. And you can watch as you see how I develop from just a simple sketch, like what I'm doing right here. I'm just trying to make the best use of the size of the painting and the placement of the goat. Sometimes it takes more than one attempt. As you can see, I'm really not investing a lot. It's simple lines. Just want to get the placement right for the size of the canvas, or in my case, a panel. In the interest of time and also boredom levels, I'm making this go quicker than I really did draw it. That's the wonders of editing. Even though I have sped up the timing on this, you will notice that you will see hesitations of the brush. Whenever you see the brush stop, I am looking at the photo reference. So I look at the photo reference and then I start to draw. And then I pause, look at that photo reference again. I am trying my best to get it right the first time. The ear on the goat's right side is very foreshortened, which means it's virtually facing the camera. And that means we will not see the length of the ear. It's a little tricky, but I think I can pull it off. There's his nose. And then his lips protrude out a little bit. And so does this one. Comes in, and then there's this little bit of hair right there. Okay, now this back comes up like this, and then it cuts in like that. And then his tail, okay, so he has a rather large thigh here. Here's something I learned through observation, and that is that goats generally have their tails upward, where lambs and other animals have their tails down. Okay, there you just saw an artist's trick. I am trying to locate the proper placement for that leg. What I did was I checked it on the source by just suspending the vertical part of the brush where it was on the source, and then match it to the drawing. And by doing that, I saw that it was way too far over to the left. And here is my maul stick, and I'm using it to make sure I have a plumb line for that background, that it's plumb and not sliding to the left or to the right. I thought that that line might have been just a little too close to halfway point on the panel, and you never want to have a line anywhere in your composition that is exactly halfway. It's like a no-no. Oops, you can see that the camera is cutting off upper part of this painting. What you see in the background is some tree lines, and I'm about to begin the block in, but I wanted to say that the trees, they don't stay, and I decided not to show me drawing them in. I mean, it doesn't look like a stellar job anyways, right? But just wanted to let you know that those trees are not going to stay, and that I'm sorry about the camera. This has to be darker. This has to be darker through here. So I'm trying to establish my value pattern, which means I'm aware of the darkest dark and the lightest light and everything that's in between. And now in just a few seconds, you're going to see that the camera gets fixed. So stay with me. That's better. Let's start this painting by developing that cute little face. Here you see me beginning with the baby goat's little head, but I see that there's a lot of glare here, and you may not be able to really watch this, so I'm going to heavily edit this area. Okay, so because of the glare, I'm going to focus more on high contrast. Please excuse the glare. I am so sorry. Notice here, I'm putting in some light color, and voila, there's a lip. Now, what inspired me to paint this baby goat was the way the mouth was. There's hair everywhere except for around the nose and the whole mouth. And then you see I put in what looks like a smile line, but it's really just a cast shadow, I think. But it is just so cute. All of these little nuances are just what makes this baby goat so cute. And so before I am finished with this painting, believe me, this area will be brought to the cutest factor I can possibly pull off. Now, there is one challenge with this baby goat and the positioning of it, and that is a very foreshortened ear. That's what I'm working on now. And I'm not going to worry about the drawing. I'm just going to worry about the shapes. And if I get the shapes right, the drawing will happen. What do I mean by that? You don't have to draw every line. You just put in the shapes. And before you know it, in my case, an ear is going to appear. Not only am I looking to get the shapes correct, but I'm also looking at the value. So I have to keep in mind during this tricky part of the ear that I need to get the value right and the shape right. So now that I am comfortable with the ear shape, it's not finished, but I'm comfortable that the shape is correct. I'm going to now use that as a comparison for me to place the eye correctly. So I'm looking at the whole length of the ear on the source, and then I'm looking at it on my painting, and I'm placing it to match both the source and my painting. So what you see going on here is the tissue. I'm painting in the tissue that is around the eye. And in this case, because it's a brand new baby goat, it's more on the pink side. I'm about to try to get the eyelashes. And I decide to darken the pupil. Now, most people know that goats have horizontal pupils, not round ones. Putting this lighter color here really does help delineate the ear. I am trying to keep the darkest areas dark to help with the bone structure of this goat. So right now, working on the tail, I am asking myself, what is the easiest thing to see next? So I kind of nailed the hard things, and that would be around the goat's face. And I wanted to get that in place so that I could measure everything else off of that face. But now I'm looking for what's the easiest to see next. And I'm just beginning to develop the goat's hair on the body. I just noticed that I have a drawing issue, so I am correcting that right now before I go too much further. I have that goat's leg out way too far, almost like it's gonna sploof. It's gonna come up a little bit more, and it's gonna come down, and what I'm missing here is this part of the back leg joint. Okay. I'm liking that better. So because I had to start the drawing over again, I wanted to replace the darkest darks before I started to move on to develop out the baby goat's body. And because I'm confident in the drawing lines, I'm trying to blend them out also. Here is a close-up of me smudging out the drawing lines. Once again, blending out the drawing lines. And now we'll start developing those legs. All 4 of them. Now to do the body, I've switched to my number 10 brush, which is my largest brush that I use. And I'm just looking to get the lay of the hair, not getting caught up with each individual hair. And the technique is to press hard with a fully loaded brush and then apply varying pressures as the brush releases the paint. You could almost call it the plop blend method. And now you see me starting the background. Now some people would completely finish the goat before moving on to the background, but I like to bring all of the different areas of a painting up to the same level of finish before I continue to develop any one area fully. That is the method that works the best for me. About these trees in the background. Let me try painting them out. That might be the answer. So you're probably noticing I'm quite aggressive with the brushwork here. This is called scrubbing in. And the reason I'm using something like scrubbing in here is because I just want to get those trees erased away. I'm happy with it so far. And as you can see here, there were lots of changes. Please watch out for part 2. Like, comment, subscribe.